There's a bit of hype building up about EA Sports FC, so I asked this community what kind of features they'd love to see in the game. Some of the comments did really shock me about how they're not already included in the game. They seem so simple to add and so much better than what's already in there. So today, I've compiled some of the best ideas and I've made a wish list that I can send to EA and show exactly what we want in the next few FIFA games. I've combined the ideas into sections with chapters along the bottom of the video, so check that out if you want to skip to a specific part of career mode. Anyway, sponsors were one of the most talked about things. There was 3 different ideas that I saw a lot of people mention when it came to sponsors. The first one was changing kit sponsors on real teams, the second one was changing the TV licensing and maybe some sponsors around that, and the third one was about kit sponsors for your creator club. So, of course, changing sponsors in real kits is absolutely a nightmare for any kind of EA licensing agreement, so I can't see that ever happening on real kits. However, adding stadium sponsors or kit sponsors for Creator Club should be a really easy addition. I mean, there's already 50 fake companies that are being used in another EA game, the F1 series, for their creator team mode. So you could easily just port their logos into FIFA, change the names and maybe some of the backstories to be more suited to football, and you're sorted. More leagues was another common request, but specifically around second divisions. There was a lot of suggestions saying EA should add a second league to every single league on the game. There was a lot of suggestions for the Dutch and Portuguese second divisions, and there was a lot of requests for things like Serbia, United Arab Emirates, Uruguay and Canadian leagues. So while adding lots of second divisions does seem like a really good idea, I'm not sure many people would actually play with divisions like the second Indian or the second Chinese division, so maybe they should keep it to just some of the bigger leagues. However, I do fully agree that leagues like Netherlands and Portugal should be getting second leagues, and I also think that France, Italy and Spain should get third divisions just like Germany and England have right now. I think these little changes would make career mode better, and I can't imagine leagues like Serie C or the French National really charging too much for licensing to add them to the game. There was also 2 really cool ideas around save length and starting new saves. The first one was around longer career mode limits, so instead of the 15 years maximum we have right now, just double it and make it 30. The second one was about starting with current results and real fixtures in the middle of a season. If Football Manager Mobile can handle generating 30 years of regens, I don't see why FIFA on console or PC can't do it too. 30 years is a limit that I doubt many people would ever hit, but it means those regens you find in Season 8 can actually have full careers and not just stop existing when they hit 23 years old. Starting with current results would also be a game changer. As someone who thinks of a load of challenges basically as a job these days, being able to fully replicate the situation clubs are in would be huge. Last year I mentioned a few times the situation that Wisla Krakow were in, one of the most successful teams in Poland. If you wanted to play as a big team like this who were fighting relegation, you would instead be starting with the 3rd best squad in the league, basically going for the title in Season 1 rather than fighting relegation, and the whole save would basically be pointless. There is one thing that EA would need to fix for this to be added though, as quite a few teams in real life would actually start on negative points at the start of a season. The way the league tables work would have to change. As the points value uses an 8-byte number, you can only have a maximum of 255 points in your league season. This means if you're on 0 points, take a -15 deduction, the game will actually put you up to 241 points, so you'll definitely be winning the league despite going into administration. Finally, we have a few suggestions that I couldn't fit into other categories. The first one was replacing board objectives with sponsor objectives that you can choose. You get more money if you manage to complete them, more owner-based changes in personality, better stadiums and atmospheres, and include the option for the youth academy scouting to be more specific so you could pay extra and get a very exact player that you need for your squad. Now I do like the idea of board objectives being swapped for sponsor ones. I doubt a chairman would really care what nationality your players are from, except in a few minor situations. But if you do have a Chinese sponsor and they might want a striker from Shanghai, you can see this being something that would happen in real life. You could still keep the board objectives in there, but maybe make them strictly performance based instead of little minor things that you can do in your career mode. Leave those for the sponsors. Of course, the board would care more about you qualifying for Europe instead of signing a certain amount of foreign players. Giving owners a personality would be another way of making the game a bit more dynamic. Maybe you could take over Spurs, and then you have Daniel Levy giving you really tight budgets and really strict financial targets, where you don't actually have too much pressure on finishing in first place. Move to Chelsea and you get a huge freedom to sign whoever you want, but the targets might be based a bit more on signing big name players and maybe trying to finish in Europe. Even if it was just a basic selection of say 5 personalities, you'd probably have a better time in career mode. I think you can split basically every owner in the world into focusing on youth academy, focusing on finances, focusing on transfers, focusing on signing players from a certain nationality, or trying to just chase glory. So every single chairman could have one of these 5 personalities. I'm assuming with better stadiums, the idea here was to make something like a creation system, which again would be pretty useful. Even if it was like Ultimate Team stadium customization, you get to select tifos, chants, and maybe choose from one of 4 or 5 different stadium designs. I think it would be something that a lot of people would use. There's only so many times you can play your home matches at Town Park before you're getting a little bit bored of playing your career mode. Finally, this was surprisingly the only suggestion about the Youth Academy. I like the idea of it being cheap to go vague with your searches, but the more specific you go, the more expensive it is. Every extra filter you add could maybe double the price of the mission. So if you want an attacker, central attacking midfielder who's over 6'4", you'll pay the attacker fee, then you'll double it for the attacking midfielder, you'll double it for the 6'2", and that will cost you 4 times more than searching for just an attacker. I like this idea. It's maybe a little bit more realistic because the scout would have to maybe use more hotels or buy more tickets to matches, and it would just cost more and more because you want this specific player. But when you do get them, of course, you'll enjoy the player more, you'll enjoy your career mode more, and it'll probably just be more fun all around. Speaking of fun, this was actually a really fun video to make, so if anyone out there wants to make FIFA competitor, make sure you add one of these things and you'll instantly get a ton of new FIFA players moving across to your game. What I did you guys like the most in today's video was your best suggestion that you think EA absolutely has to add to EA Sports FC. Leave them in the comments below, and if I see any good ones, I'll make a community post sharing them with everyone who's subscribed to the channel. Anyway, thank you for watching. Check out my challenge playlist that I've been uploading recently by clicking the playlist on the screen right now, or check out the video on the other side. But anyway, thank you for watching, cheers, and goodbye.